need you. My heart's on fire. Come to me, wild and wild.
Now, you know this is a little bit slow for us, but there's a reason. Does
And
everyone
it gets
know?
going.
Ready, guys?
You need to like fast forward to the chorus.
Okay, who can name the tune? Come on, guys. Let's get it. Who's singing it? She's fabulous.
Teresa's already got it. Tina Turner, baby.
All right, Teresa. You know why we play this song? Let's see if we can get the title. What's the title, Teresa? Quick. Simply the best. Better than all the rest. So, simply the best on a Tuesday. Why? Because at the end of our training today, we're going to announce the winners, remember, of our sweepstakes for Gia. So I thought that was a perfect song. Thank you, guys.
I have entries, I have winners, I have numbers, I have stats. I'm excited.
So thank you, first of all, for showing up today on Tuesday instead of yesterday on Monday.
I'm sorry. That was my fault. I was a lot under the weather yesterday.
Yeah, and if I had just done it on my own, you'd have had to listen to me sing the entire show. So that would have probably not been the best. So,
but you know what? There was I don't know if you've seen it. There was a Friends episode where Phoebe had a cold, and that's me. My voice still isn't 100% today. Yeah. And I remember her going, "Wow, I have such a sexy voice," and she wanted to continue being sexy. She loved the way she sounded. Yeah. So I was joking yesterday. I'm like, maybe we should have done the live, and I should have sang with my sexy, raspy voice.
Well, the cool thing about you being sick, not that it's cool, but the cool thing for everybody else was that we extended the giveaway sweepstakes for another day. So there were even more people playing and signing up and sharing their stuff. And thank you to everyone who posted their pictures and their dancing and their singing. That was awesome.
Can I just say how surprised I am? Because I remember when you and I were first putting this together, and we joked. We're like, we should add, some points for people singing and dancing. And we're like, no. So we didn't put it on in the beginning, but we said it in the video how we were joking. And then we were like, well, let's add it. Let's do this. So we added it as an entry, and people did it.
Yeah, which is awesome. That's what we want.
I was shocked. I really didn't think anyone would take us up on that.
See, so we have made truly an impact in society, Stacey, because we have people now singing and dancing on video who probably never in their wildest dreams
ever
would have done it. And now here's the thing, and some of you can attest to this. You do it once, it's easy after that.
Well, and everyone survived.
Everyone survived.
And that's the thing. So Teresa's saying too bad she got caught by the royalties. So, but Teresa, that's not just you. No. I can't tell you the amount of times on various different accounts. And since we're talking about social media, it's actually a good thing to talk about, because when you do, like, on some of them, you can hear it faintly in the background, or they're using different words. But when you have mainly the sound of, unfortunately, an original song, and they know it's the original artist, I don't know how they catch it. But basically, they'll kind of slap your hand and say you don't have the rights to, unfortunately, play that song. So I hear you. It's happened to me a lot.
And it never happens to us on these. I should knock wood. But
why is that? I think our bad singing overrides.
I think
they're like, they're so bad, we'll give you some points.
I think that's what it is. And I also think that we go so long, right? So if you were just doing a 4-minute or a 2-minute clip, then they're like going to nail you. But because we're talking for the rest of the hour or half hour, then it, I guess maybe they have a little bit of leeway. But anyways, it's all good. We're excited.
Good. But Teresa, you also did it again.
Yeah.
So it proves that if you do it once, you have more courage to do it again.
And it's when we were running the mastermind, the first mastermind a couple of years ago or more now, one of the challenges was, if you guys remember, you had to post a video every single day, right, for the month essentially. And it was great, because as scary as that was, the more you did it, the easier it got. And then by the end of it, it doesn't matter anymore, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It became easier and easier the more you did it.
Yeah. So if we ask Teresa to sing now, she'll sing.
All right. We're just going to bring her up next time, and you just have to come and sing with us in the beginning.
That's right.
So good for you. So today we are talking about social media. I apologize if I'm going to cough some of the way through this. I do have my drink to stop that.
Yeah, that's good. Is there what's in that drink?
Yeah, it's really boring. It's cranberry juice.
Oh, yeah. A little shot of vodka there to help.
No. See, now she's saying deal. You know what? She's ready to go. I love it.
All right. That's
Careful what
good.
you say deal too, because we will ask you to join us.
Yeah.
So when it comes to social media, one thing we wanted to talk about today was which social media channel to be on and
Right.
how do you master that particular channel. So I think the biggest thing when I first started out as an entrepreneur, which by the way was 10 years ago yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My 10-year anniversary of being an entrepreneur on my journey. But it was interesting because I think when I first started, and it was also, I was doing a lot of social media training at that point. I was doing a lot of one-on-one training. And I think what I did more than anything else was take people off of social media channels more than I put them onto social media channels. And the reason being was because everybody thinks that, okay, Faye, you know, your brothers, sisters, friends, dogs, relatives, something told you that this particular channel works for you. So that person then told me that channel worked for her, therefore you need to be on it.
Right.
And that's where we need to differentiate and understand what the channels are, where you should be, and what makes sense for you and your business and
Right.
your brand. Because you can only make impact if you're on the channels that make sense. Because
Right.
if you're not a person that is going to use a channel, it's almost better to not be on it. Because the challenge is that if I'm a Twitter person, let's just say, and I search you up on Twitter and you haven't used Twitter since 2017,
Right.
what am I going to do? I'm going to either assume that you're not in business. I'm not going to reach out to you. So if your channel's not active, and that's where people go now.
Yeah.
I can Google you and I can go to your website, but a website we don't really change up as often.
It's pretty static.
It's pretty static. So, okay, your website looks like you're in business, but if your social media channels are not active, I'm going to assume you're not in business.
Right.
So therefore I'm going to move on to the next person in my search results.
Right. And I think a lot of people realize their websites, they don't really update very often either. So,
Right.
so mainly, you know that somebody's social media generally is more up to date than their website.
Right, which is, I mean, we've learned that through COVID, because what are we doing? Is this particular restaurant doing takeout? Are they open yet? Especially back through, in the spring and summer, we didn't really know who was open and who wasn't and who was doing different services. You went to, I personally was like, I was going to their Facebook pages.
Yeah.
Their website hadn't changed because sometimes there's blocks and it's hard to get things updated.
Right.
I was going to their social media. I was going to their Instagram. I was going to their Facebook and seeing, yes, we're open for this. Their website wasn't showing that.
Right.
So when it comes to updates and information, so also understanding. So when you think about your social media channel and which one you should be on, one of the first things I think about is, do you even like it?
Yeah.
Because if you don't like the channel, you're probably not going to use it very often. You're not going to post on it. You're not going to spend time there because it's hard.
And it changes too, right?
Well, everything changes much
Right.
more.
It changes, like the more you use something and then you see something new, you start getting more comfortable with the other channel as well. So it's, you might love Facebook right now, but in 2 months from now, you might like Instagram, or you might like YouTube because you start doing videos, or you might like the immediacy of, stories.
Exactly. So interesting. On a side note, Twitter came out with stories this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if everybody saw it. I thought I was living under a rock. Actually, sorry, it was the end of last week. And they're called fleets. So it was funny because I sent a note to Faye and saying, like, did you see that Twitter has stories now? And then she wrote back and went, I just posted my first fleet. And I'm like, I wonder what a fleet is. So I literally wrote her back question mark because I had no idea what a fleet was. And I Google it, Twitter stories, and that's what they're called. They're called fleet.
Yeah. And I didn't do it because I was committed to the channel. I just did it because I just wanted to see what it looked like. That's all.
So they're not as glamorous as some of the other stories, but it goes to show you, well, and LinkedIn has stories as well, which came out a little bit ago. So it's going to show you that unfortunately or unfortunately, a lot of the social media channels are becoming a lot more similar.
Yeah.
These days. So, LinkedIn is talking about the fact that it's looking more like Facebook, Instagram, and the stories. Well, now Twitter has stories. So if stories is your thing, you can kind of have that same concept throughout multiple social media channels.
Yeah.
But the first question I get a lot is, do I need to be on every social media channel out there?
Right.
No, you don't. You do not have to be on every social media channel.
But I would highly recommend that you just grab your URL, your handle first. You don't have to go on it, but just grab it so nobody else takes it.
Absolutely, because I'm in that situation. Now, this was way back, obviously, when my biggest challenge actually was the fact that I wanted to make sure it was available on Twitter. Because at that point, Facebook and Twitter were this was before Instagram was even out there, because I'm been a first person on social media since literally the beginning of time. And unfortunately, I've told the story before, at Stacey Maynard was taken. So I couldn't use that, hence why I'm now at
Stacey.
Well, if you actually go on Twitter, if you try to find at Stacey Maynard, her account is, how do I word this? It's taken down because of explicit content.
But you actually could probably, people might mistaken you with your voice today.
So the at Stacey Maynard, unfortunately or fortunately, she is an erotic novelist. So I feel bad for the people who Google me or Google her and get me. So make sure. So the one thing across all social media channels is consistency. So Faye was very good. She has at Faye Chappell everywhere. So she doesn't have to say, I'm at Faye Chappell on Instagram and Facebook, but on Twitter, I'm at F Chappell, but on LinkedIn, I'm Faye Kezia Chappell, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? It gets very complicated. So if you are going to grab your social channels on various social media outlets, make sure that make sure it's consistent.
Yeah.
So
and even the ones you don't think so, because I grabbed Instagram. It took me a long time to actually use Instagram because I didn't really get it at first. And so I had it for a long time because it came out. I got my name. That's it. I just grabbed it. But it took me a long time to actually start using it. Now it's more of my favorite.
Yeah. So again, what's your favorite? What's the one that you're going to use the most?
Yeah.
And then just because Instagram works for me. I would say I get the most engagement on Instagram. But that's also the channel that I'm also the most active on.
Right.
So if you like using it, you're obviously going to use a little bit more. Now, if Instagram, as it was originally sort of started, it was very much of a teenager platform when it first started. So a lot of us, 40 plus people,
we didn't
hop on because it was for teenagers, and it was definitely one that my kids were using and stuff like that in the beginning. So it wasn't one that we hopped onto. So then what happened with the trends is that we started to kind of go on because we were maybe, watching what our kids were doing and wanted to see something that was a little bit more fun. Well, guess what happened? More of us went on and more of them went off. So now, it's not a teenager place anymore. Teenager hangout. They've got other places where they hang out now.
Yeah.
And it's become a lot more sort of, I would say, between sort of 30 and 50, 30 and 60 year olds. A lot more ads are placed there, a lot more engagement, a lot more, personal brand. So it's become probably, in my opinion, the front runner.
Yeah. Well, because Facebook owns them.
Right.
It also means that, most people had to move there because they're ads as well, right? They were doing ads on Facebook. They were running into Instagram, and they were like, whoa, I don't even know what Instagram is. I guess I better get on it.
Exactly. So yes, Instagram is owned by Facebook. So it also depends on where your client is. So again, if your client, again, back in the day, had I been targeting, 20-year-olds, I would have been full out on Instagram right in the beginning. I was still hanging out over on Facebook and LinkedIn at that time.
Yeah.
So if my ideal client was 20-year-olds, I would have followed that trend, probably been on Instagram in the beginning. Then I probably would have moved off and moved over to Snapchat.
Yeah.
Which is where most of them are hanging out now, sort of that mid-teen to early 20s are hanging out on Snapchat. But it's interesting, the trend, because the younger teenagers right now are still over on TikTok, but they kind of skipped over Snapchat. So they're going back to Instagram. So it's an interesting place, but understanding who your target is and where they're hanging out. So just because Instagram works for me does not mean Instagram's going to work for you. If you are solely focused on, high level, maybe executives, business professionals, you work directly with them, then LinkedIn is your play.
Yeah.
And really focusing your time there and making sure that you're investing your time in your brand, in networking on that platform would make more sense. So do you have to be on all of them? No. Which one do you like using? Where is your target audience hanging out? And does it match sort of the vibe, I'll use that word, of your brand?
Yeah.
Because if your brand, again, is extremely professional, then LinkedIn, if you like to share articles. So again, what type of content are you sharing? Are you an article person? If you like to share articles and information, then LinkedIn is your play. If you like to share visual content and video content, then maybe Instagram is where you need to be. If you like to share short little snippets of information and tips and stuff like that, then Twitter would be another place where you should be. Right. Because with content, it doesn't last forever, right? That's the other thing to think about. So it's interesting. I saw this thing yesterday, which I wanted to bring up when we were talking about content. Content on Twitter will last 18 minutes.
Right.
So you have to post a lot more often on Twitter because the feed is changing so much. But I love Twitter.
Yeah, it's also the first place to go when you want to check something that's happening right away. Like if you need to know a score or something's happening on an event or who won something, you go to Twitter because Twitter's instantaneous. They will they will just boom. You will know exactly what's going on in the world. Twitter is the number one.
Hands down.
Right. So if that's what your thing is, so if you are, for example, you're on top of you're a sports guy and and that's your realm. Maybe you do sports podcasting and things. That's your thing because you would be posting all the time and news, anything that's up and coming. So don't get us wrong. Cause if you say, well, I like to tell them the latest trends in marketing. Yeah, that's not really instantaneous news. So if you want to know who won Dancing with the Stars last night and you're not watching, you go to Twitter, when it's on, as the show is on, it'll tell you play by play.
Well, because it's interesting because there's one commercial I see and I wish I could remember who it is. And it's join us on social and then it'll say, or join the conversation on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that's what Twitter is. It's a conversation that takes place via hashtags.
But I really firmly believe Twitter is an instantaneous media. I think in the old days, remember when people tried to have Twitter parties and stuff? Remember those?
They still do.
Yeah, but they're kind of they feel almost forced because they take a topic and they go around, but it's not what Twitter's good at is what's new, what's current. Yeah. What's the latest opinion? There's lots of political stuff, right? You know who posts there, my American friends. And so it's instantaneous information and feedback. So that it's very cool if that's who you are. If you can think quick, Twitter's your place.
Yeah, and I love it. Again, following trends, following topical information, the news. If something happens, the first place I go to is Twitter. For all of that stuff, depending on what's going on. Like you said, if you're watching a TV show, there's lots of conversations. So sometimes it's just fun to just check it out.
Absolutely.
And be a voyeur.
If you're watching the Oscars, right? Or any awards shows, it's so fun because everyone will start posting what they agreed on the picks or didn't agree or what the dress looks like, or it's just a fun thing. There's also very serious stuff. Yep. My favorite, I don't know about you, my favorite person on Twitter is Anna Kendrick. Do you guys know who she is? She's an actress. And she was in the one with George. She's been on a lot of them. Pitch Perfect, the one with George Clooney on, I can't remember what it's called. Look her up. She's incredibly sarcastic. and she's my favorite person on Twitter. Like it'll like so for me, that makes my day when I read her. I could just read them out all day long because they're just so funny. So when you find somebody that's short snippets, short, right? Snort.
Yeah.
Short.
Well, they moved. So Twitter did move from 140 characters to 240 recently. But they're still short, which is good. But they did at least give you a little bit more leeway in regards to what you can say because it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard in the beginning because in Facebook you could write, really long copy, almost blog length copy. So
that's the interesting part, right? Like that, the interesting part on the length of copy, if you got, we've talked about Publer a million times to you guys. It's actually on sale at AppSumo Black Friday sale in case you guys want. It's back on just for the week. Anyways, so on Publer, because you published everything and it tells you, it cuts you out on each one when you're over their length. And it's fascinating when you're writing a post to actually see how you have to change it based on the social channel.
Well, and the way that you talk. So again, understanding where you're most comfortable, where your clients hang out. And again, the type of content that they want to consume. So if your client is on Twitter, that tells you a lot about your client as well. They want short pieces of information. They're current. They're up to date. They want short tips, quick information, whereas on Facebook, content lasts a little bit longer, meaning that people will see it, but you can write a lot on Facebook because you're not posting as often. So Twitter's a little bit, you have to post a lot, and it's a very engaging platform. Facebook isn't as engaging. On Facebook groups, that's different.
Yeah.
Right? So we get the engagement from our Facebook groups. LinkedIn, I find fascinating because content can live there for probably 2 days. I see content that was today that was posted yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. And then when I post on LinkedIn, I get comments, a couple of days later. So the content lives much longer on LinkedIn. So again, all of the other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them are sort of that combination of a personal and professional brand. We're showcasing our behind the scenes life, what we're doing from a personal perspective, also bringing in the business, whereas LinkedIn is all business.
Right.
Which is really good. So again, maybe longer form pieces of content, information, articles, links, images. It's sort of that combination of everything. But again, then there's stories, which they're all going to. So LinkedIn has stories, Facebook has stories. Interesting, Facebook hasn't really adopted stories to the degree that the other platforms have. Twitter, which I find really interesting because they're already short, content only lasts 20 minutes on Twitter, but yet they've added stories for even shorter pieces of information that only last 24 hours and then they're gone. So again, going back to you don't have to be on all of them. Where is your client hanging out? What makes sense for you and your brand? And which one are you actually going to use? Because that's great. I can tell you, like Teresa's saying that she left Twitter. She doesn't believe it's where she needs to be. So I could tell Teresa that Twitter is the place that she needs to be. Her clients are on Twitter, but if she's not going to use Twitter, then don't be on Twitter.
Right.
Because if you're not going to use it, it's probably not necessarily to be the right channel for you. If you're because it's important to engage. It's important to listen. It's important to post really great content. But if there's another channel that works better for you that your clients are also on, and you also have to, a lot of people are on all kinds of different channels. You can be on Facebook and I'll be your person. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm on everything.
We're on everything. So there is something that you have to consider, guys. It's not like, yes, there's one platform that you usually have your default. You like to engage there because that's your thing. Mine is Instagram. I'm not a real big fan of Facebook. That's why I apologize in advance, guys, even though we're on Facebook. It takes me so long to reply to people because I'm not really on it. I'm posting from Publer, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm on Publer posts to everyone. And what I love about it, I'm on Twitter. I don't actively engage. I do when I'm reading other people's like, share, or whatever.
Yeah.
But my posts go to everything. So does Stacy's. We push ours out to everything. The key is, and this is a really good learning strategy for you guys, is if you do use something like Publer or Social Bee or any of them, again, it'll show you how it forces you to change what you write on each platform. Why is that important? Because you'll learn very quickly whether you can say something in 2 lines or there's just no way possible you can shorten it. If you can't, then get off that platform.
Exactly.
Right? So we just change our words. We also write the strategy, if you're using that, is simple, is to write your key 2-sentence phrase at the top, which will go everywhere. Then it cuts from there. So, your Facebook can be really long, and as you go, you can change it as you go. If you have a platform like Publer or Social Bee or Hootsuite or any of those ones that tells you, the length, and it'll show you, you will instantly be able to now decide where you really want to be.
So just one piece of advice. I love Publer. I use it almost every day. It is one of my faves, and Linda's saying she loves it too. She finds it easier to use.
Yeah.
Even though she's non-techie, you still have to go into the different platforms and listen and engage.
Yeah.
So yes, Publer is great for posting.
Yes.
So you still need to go in and engage. So you still need to go in and like and comment. And I've said this before, and that's probably the most effective use of your time. It is not a time waster. Faye had talked earlier about the fact that she doesn't love Facebook. I'm in the same boat. Facebook groups, different.
Different, yes. They're totally different. Sorry, I'm Facebook. When I say Facebook, I mean the general Facebook.
The general Facebook is not my favorite place to be. Yeah. So basically, I think I asked this question a couple of years ago. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first social media channel that you go to?
Instagram.
Me too. That's my go-to.
And that's the last one I look at night.
I go to Instagram because what I love about it, number one, it's visual, and that's me. I love to see pictures. Yeah. I love the combination of personal and business and fun because there's a lot of fun people, brands and influencers and all of that kind of stuff on Instagram as well. So that's my go-to. But also remember, again, which one do you enjoy flipping through? So if you're a Facebook person, remember you still need to engage on Facebook. If you're a LinkedIn person, you still need to engage on LinkedIn. Yes, I do my posts, as does Faye through Publer, but we're also going back in, we're connecting with people, we're, following new people, engaging on different posts and content to make sure that your likes and your comments are authentic to you. So that's where you can gain more exposure and more
if you're
network and grow your network.
If you don't log, I don't log into LinkedIn. Stacy does. I don't log into
trained with it for a million years. That's all right.
It doesn't even occur to me to so what I do is on my phone, because the one time, you guys know this I go to bed with my phone, sorry. But at the one, I know it's a no, but it's the one time, it actually helps me relax when I go through all my stuff. But what I do is I leave my notifications on my phone. So when that little LinkedIn app has something that says 3, then I know I click it and I engage because it's somebody either posted on something or I'm replying to a notification. That's my trick. It's the only time I remember to actually go into LinkedIn. So if you're like me and you just think, oh, I'm never going to do it, just put your notifications on.
But that's where it goes back to, if you pick your channel, pick 2 or 3, those are the ones you're going to use.
Yeah.
If you are the type of person that feels like you're going to get lost in Never Land and it's going to be a time suck, and once you get in, you're never going to get out, set a timer.
Yeah.
Because it is a time investment in your network.
It's a big investment.
It is huge. It is time. And that's where a lot of social media managers, I know when I did this role, I would say, yes, I will do your strategy. I will build your content and I will post on your behalf. However, I will not engage on your behalf.
But I will say that for those of you who have done and I've up until, the last 6 months, I did everything on my own on my social media. But if you really struggle with doing graphics and doing posts and not know, you know what to say, but you're not very good at getting it out. The best thing you can do is it's a good investment to get somebody else to do it, because it is literally like, it is so freeing not to have to struggle with doing any of that. I enjoyed it. I was good at it. I like doing graphics and that, but there are people that are better than me. And I always sit there and go, how much is your time worth? So if you can make money doing your real work, whatever that is, let somebody else do most of your posts, and then you can have the pleasure of just engaging people.
Yeah, I think somebody was saying earlier, I was talking to, they're like, oh, I didn't realize that you were sick, because I literally have been in bed for 3 days.
Yeah.
And because you kept posting and you always looked on and all of that kind of stuff. And that's because I had somebody else who had done all of that previously and scheduled it for me. So I didn't have to worry. So I can be sick.
Yeah.
And still stay active.
We still do it. We still do our stories. We still do a lot of posts, but there is something really fun when I'm still in bed and I go to my Instagram and I see what I posted that day. I did the writing. So just so you guys understand, when you're using your social media managers, they expect you to do the writing. They just create the graphic and post it and make it pretty for you. But most of the time, like, they don't want to post what to say, because it's got to be your voice, right?
Well, that's the most important thing, and that's why the engagement piece is so important. So again, picking the platform that you enjoy being on is important, because again, your comments is your engagement, and it has to be your voice. Somebody else can't do that for you. So Teresa has her 3: Facebook, LinkedIn, and she's working on Instagram. So awesome.
Yeah. And
Anthea's agreeing that she has content every day, but she doesn't like doing the posts.
Right. Nobody, I don't like doing the posts either.
We agree.
We don't like it. That's why it was like, if you actually sit down and figure out how much time you spend doing your posts, like, it's pretty amazing, because you realize that, wow, if you just gave it to somebody else and actually worked, you could do a lot better.
Exactly. So I think I tried yesterday. I think I tried to change something on my story because my head was just completely out of it. And thank God we both use Spencer. She actually deleted what I did.
Yeah.
Put up something better. And I'm like, much better.
And it's good to keep like, they also keep you on. If you have a good social media manager, they keep you honest. I mean, she said to us last week, because she said we need to post a few more videos, and we're like, okay. And she said very kindly, not like those businessy ones, like, just talk like you guys are talking, which I love. So, we do this all the time, and then we can get our wrist slapped sometimes too, and say, it's not quite as good as you guys.
It is. Yeah, it's good to have that third party as well. So, but if you like doing posts and that's your thing, amazing. We've done it ourselves for years. Absolutely. So it is possible. But again, you still have to write your own content. But again, the where is important to understand, and also understanding that maybe not every single piece of content needs to go on every single solitary channel, because the look and feel is different. So we have the advantage where, we were talking earlier today about Twitter, like the Twitter image is a different size than the Instagram image. So Instagram is square. And when you put that over on Twitter, which I've done, if you look at the one, you'll know the one I've done versus
you'll know when you didn't change it.
Right. So sometimes it shows the top half, sometimes it shows the middle, and sometimes it shows the bottom half. And it doesn't look good. And it looks like you're not understanding that channel.
Right.
Pinterest is longer and skinnier. Facebook, Instagram, those are square, and same with LinkedIn. So understanding the channel. And if you are loyal to your channel, you will see the difference.
Yeah.
Making sure that your images are made for that channel. It will make a difference.
And I will say that before anyone says I hate Instagram or I hate this, generally the reason you don't like something is because you don't know how to use it. And that was my take on Instagram for a long time, because I just didn't understand how to use it. And then when I finally did understand it, it was very simple and I enjoyed it more. So sometimes it's kind of like right now, I don't really understand TikTok. I understand it theoretically and I understand, but I haven't done it. So if you do more and more of something, then it gets easier and then you might end up, that might be your favorite channel. If you had asked me, 2 years ago, would Instagram be my favorite? I would have said absolutely not. I didn't know how to do it.
But again, there's also different areas of all the different ones. So Instagram is actually a very large channel in a sense that it has the feed, it has IGTV, it has reels, it has stories. Jen's just saying that she has so much fun on TikTok, and it's funny because I was just going to mention her.
Yeah.
She does a lot of Instagram reels as well.
Absolutely.
So I feel like we need to bring Jen on to
Yeah.
talk about Instagram reels and TikTok, which is very similar. So reels was brought in. So don't feel like I want to get to know Instagram. You can kind of just start with a feed, then post your story, see what that feels like. Then you can move on to different areas of Instagram. Same thing with, Twitter. It's moved into doing fleets, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
So, and Jen says she's gotten people into her Facebook group from TikTok.
Yeah.
They're following her on Instagram. So
I literally was, when I was talking to my kid last night, he follows someone that's older on TikTok that's a business person.
Yeah.
And I said, well, where'd you get that information? He goes, well, he's on TikTok. He's got like 1 million followers. And I was like, whoa, okay. So you don't really know until you go and experience it. I'm not saying everyone should run over and do TikTok or run to do Instagram, or if you're comfy on Facebook, but all I think our message is, yes, understand which medium you like and you enjoy, but also remember this, you've probably been on Facebook for a long time. And you might not have ventured out anywhere else. But there are people, believe it or not, that are not on Facebook.
There are.
So
I've met them. They're real.
So if you actually want to engage new, you must go somewhere else.
Yeah, I would say my biggest piece of advice as we start to roll this up is to try something new.
Yeah.
So if you are, a Facebook only person, then I would strongly suggest that you branch out. I think the easiest branch out would be to Instagram.
Yeah.
If you're, really solid with Facebook and Instagram, maybe try out LinkedIn, maybe try out Twitter, create your account, see what's going on, start by listening and seeing how it's working. And maybe you're going to find a new channel with a whole new group of people that you really like and you enjoy this channel, but don't not go there because you don't know how it works.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
Are we ready?
So how many entries did we have?
All right. Let me look. Hang on. I've got the site up right now.
Okay. So we're switching gears. We're talking about Gia and the sweepstakes entries. Again, like at the beginning of the hour, thank you everybody who entered and shared and tweeted and fleeted and anything else you did.
Yeah, we have new words now, apparently. Like it's so hard because I don't know whether I'm looking forward to creating the online marketing pillar or whether I'm not, because I'm glad I hadn't done Twitter already because now I have to go fleets. So
the good thing anyways, the thing about Gia is that it's all about impact, right? It's about global impact, about getting yourself out there, getting yourself noticed, being seen as an authority, and being able to move your business forward. And the fact is, what you guys did by posting and being a little uncomfortable, those of you who did dancing and singing, that's part of it, right? It's part of getting away from feeling uncomfortable, because you cannot make a massive impact unless you're comfortable putting yourself out there.
Absolutely.
Right? So congratulations to everyone who entered. Really excited about that. How many entries did we have, Stace?
959.
Woo! 959 entries. Oh yeah.
That was awesome. I was so excited to see that number. A lot of people jumping on board, sharing. So excited.
But of course, we always know the most engaged people, and that it's interesting because what it came down to was people who had the most entries were more likely to be able to have that opportunity to win. It's just randomly done through the entries. So it's kind of a cool software. We'll share that with you sometime.
It is very cool.
Yeah.
So do we want to start with third, second, and then go to first?
Sure.
Like they do on, like, I was watching Dancing with the Stars last night. So,
Sure.
that's where they start, right? So I know we said that we were going to do 2.
Yes.
And the 2 of the top winners get free access to the Global Impact Accelerator program.
Full scholarship.
Into the full program, and an hour with us to focus on your business.
Woo-hoo!
So then we had a third place, and we felt we wanted to give something to this person because she also did a lot of effort. She put herself out there. So we wanted to make sure that she got something as well. So we do have some bonuses that we're waiting. That we're going to be going into the full program in January.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure. So this person who got third place is going to get those bonuses as well.
Yeah.
So full access to everything that we're going to be offering in January as well.
Yes, in January. Yeah.
So drum roll, please. In third place, Miss Allison Davies.
Yay, Allison. Good job, Allison.
So I'm going to put that actually in the comments here so people can see. Third place.
So you guys rocked that.
Thank
We're trying it. And so there'll be some special things in January for you, Allison, in these bonus pieces that we're giving out. So congratulations on coming in third.
That's awesome. We're very excited. But again, she put herself out there. She did a video. She sang. She changed the words.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was blown away. So
Yeah.
good for her. In second place, so this particular person, hang on, I'm going to put on
so second place gets full scholarship to GIA starting November 30th.
So that's next Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular person, second place, so full scholarship and 1 hour with us to focus on their business.
She might want to decline it.
Right, and that's okay too. Again, put herself out there, did the video, sang. She even did this video twice. Miss Teresa Sims.
Yay, Teresa! Well done.
So that's awesome. You got extra bonus points for putting that out there twice.
Yeah, it was worth the extra effort, Teresa. See, this is what happens, guys, when you put yourself out there. You actually do have opportunities to win.
So congratulations.
Yay.
And first place, hang on, I'm typing here as I do this.
First place, who always goes above and beyond. So just so you guys understand this is pretty exciting because the 3 winners, you guys all know you're in the usual Mastermind City group. You're in all our stuff. But there were literally people from all over the world posting and competing in this. But you guys did the extra steps. You guys did the extra entries. And that's what propelled you to move into the spot store.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people had, simply clicked share, and that was great.
Right, but that only gave them 1 entry.
Yeah, so you guys propelled yourself. So awesome. Congratulations. And the first place winner was the first person who put himself out there.
Yeah,
and
he started the trend.
He started the trend of actually doing the video, posting a picture of himself with his scorecard. He put himself singing and dancing. Mr. Colin Miles, the numbers guy.
The numbers guy took it home. Congratulations, Colin. So we're really, really excited for all of you guys. It is a great compliment to us that you wanted to really be part of this this platform, this Global Impact Accelerator. Twofold. One is because you have faith in us that what we're going to deliver. And secondly, that you're ready to commit and get yourself out there, right? You're ready to actually make an impact there on a global scale. So it's kind of exciting for us.
Those 3 really, really proved it, right? Yeah. Which is amazing that they, again, I'm still shocked that they literally sang and danced on camera and posted it.
Exactly.
Who are willing to take a chance
Yeah.
and go for it. So
Yeah, so for those of you who weren't unfortunately didn't win today, but are really interested in it, you've got one more week to sign up. We start November the 30th. You don't want to miss it. The first one of being in a beta or being in a founders group is really exciting because not only do you you get together with the first flight of people who are all at the same time, but you make so many friends and you're able to help each other as you move forward. And you are also going to be, in the founders group forever. So anything that comes your way in terms of GIA, you'll always be entitled to. So it's really exciting. So please tell your friends, tell them that you're headed into GIA on November 30th and you want them to come with you.
Exactly. So I've just put the link in the comments in the Facebook group. So if you are interested in joining us, we're excited to have you.
Yeah. So Stacy will connect with the winners shortly, but you guys expect an email November 29th, the day before your login, and get ready to blow this year coming up away.
All right. Have a great Tuesday. I'm used to saying Monday. I was like, have a great Monday. And I'm like, no, have a great Tuesday.
Special tomorrow. Special day.
Oh, tomorrow. So
last week I actually hosted Ask a Mentor with my guest Carolyn Dickinson, and we did that in the On Point group. And tomorrow night, special, because I am hosting again, and my special guest is Stacy. So we are going to talk about something really fun because we've just talked about social media, but tomorrow we're going to talk about the 2021 global trends in marketing. So that one's really exciting. It is online with what we're doing with GIA. It's information that you should know and need to know for the coming year so that you are ready in January to hit the ground running. So join us tomorrow.
It's called On Point Mentors Ask a Mentor is the group. If you're not part of that group, just search it up.
Yeah, and it's 7:00 and we will be live as usual, but we're not allowed to sing and dance on that channel.
So we'll look a little different, but still great information.
Exactly.
All right, we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.